Good morning, everybody. Larry Morse. It's Sunday morning, November 23rd, about 11:15 a.m., and I'm here to bring you this week's Good News Update. Today I'm here to talk to you about my personal hobby, and my personal hobby is falconry. Falconry is the art of training a bird of prey to hunt in conjunction with a human. I started in this about a year ago and have been studying for the last year. Today you're going to get an overview of this entire process. So I'm going to take you down to the Mews right now, where I'm going to actually go in and get Freedom. I'll be taking Freedom from the Mews into the blue shed that you see behind me so that I can weigh her, as weight management is critical to the performance and relationship one has with a trained raptor. So I'll be taking you in right now. So I hope you enjoy what you'll see. Okay, right now Freedom is sitting there with one foot up. That means she's content for me to come in and get her. Okay. All right now what I'm doing is I'm attaching a leash to Freedom's jesses, and this is for the purpose of taking her in and weighing her. Again, weight management is critical, so I'm going to take Freedom in and weigh her and make sure she's at the right weight. One of the other things that I do to see if she's at the right weight is I feel what's called her keel. And her keel will tell me whether she's fat, whether she's light. She will let me know by feeling her what kind of condition she's in. As you see her looking around, you can tell she's active, she's alert, she's very bright. She wants to know where she goes. And when I take her out, now if you notice, she's looking at me. She's alert. She understands we're going to go out and we're going to hunt today, and that's why she's excited. So I'm going to take her in the shed right now and weigh her. I'm going to put Freedom on the scale so we can get an idea of what she weighs. She's going to allow me to do that. She's going to step right back on the scale. And as I expected, Freedom weighs 4540. That's the heaviest Freedom has been since I started training her. A little heavier than I would like her to be at this point. But based on her behavior right now, I think she'll still be ready. The colder it is, the more weight that you'd like to see on the bird. They will actually fly heavier when it's cold than they will when it's warm. Right now what I'm going to do is put Freedom on the perch you see to my left after putting her hood on. The reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to attach radio telemetry to her, so that in the event she decides to fly off to another area, which is unlikely, more likely she might be chased off by another hawk, I have the ability to track her with a radio receiver. So I'm going to put her hood on right now. You'll see she knows it's coming. She's not crazy about it, yet she will allow me to do that. So I'll be putting the hood on her. There we go. Not bad. Pretty easy. Again, this has all been part of the training process. What I just did was tighten the hood, and now I'm going to put her on her perch so I can attach the radio telemetry. If I waited to take Freedom out today and took her out later in the day, she would actually drop more weight, wouldn't be quite as heavy. She'll drop overnight typically around 4 ounces, and she's dropped 3 since last evening. Okay, girl. Okay. Tighten up her telemetry. You have to tighten it up to turn it on. If you don't, you could potentially lose it, and if you don't have it on, you can't track her if you need to. The other reason you might want to track Freedom is if she were to take prey and then take it under a bush or a tree and you couldn't see where she was, you'd need to be able to track her as well. That's also why she has the bells on, so we can hear her movement in the trees and in the woods. As you can see, she's allowing me to do this. She's a willing participant in this process, and she knows she can count on me for her food, and she also knows that I'll be taking her out hunting. Okay, that's That's good. So now we have her telemetry attached. Now what I'll be doing is taking Freedom out to the car and putting her in what we call a giant hood. You'll notice now what she's wearing, what I just put on her is a hood. The purpose of the hood is so she cannot see. If she can't see, she remains calm. And putting her in the giant hood, it serves the same purpose. Now I could put her in that giant hood without a hood on. However, because we're transporting her, and once I get to the field I'll want her to have this hood on, I'm just going to leave it on in the hood. It doesn't deter her in any way, or as you can see, she's not uncomfortable with it. She's sitting there just relaxing right now. Okay, right now I've walked around the house and I'm actually going to be placing Freedom in her giant hood. As I mentioned, you can see how relaxed she is just sitting here on my wrist with this hood on. She'll be just as relaxed in the giant hood as we ride to the field we're heading to. They have incredible balance, so even with the hood on, and even though she can't see, as we make that ride, she'll be sitting very contently on the perch that you will see when I open the door to the giant hood. The reason the giant hood is black inside, again, is to prevent her from being able to see. If she can't see, she's calm. And there you go, you can see nice and easily. She's in the hood, and she's just going to sit there comfortably until we get to where we're going and I remove the hood from her head. Okay everybody, here we are at Swan Point Cemetery in Providence, where I've been given permission by the management security to hunt this property. So I'll be taking Freedom out of her giant hood, taking the hood on her head off, and releasing her up into the trees. You'll get an opportunity to see her fly into the trees, see her sitting in the trees, and potentially even chase a potential squirrel if we're able to scare one up. So keep your eyes open. The activity can be quick and fast, and I hope you enjoy. Now if you can see, Freedom's actually sitting on my wrist. I'm not even holding the tethers at this point. I'm going to hold them though, so when I take her hood off, she doesn't take right off, because I want to point her into the direction I would like her to go in. Now I'll take Freedom's hood off. There we go. And now I'm going to take a walk over here where I want to let Freedom go. And then the action will begin. So I'm going to put her up into this tree that you might be able to see in front of me. And that's where I'd like her to go. And there she goes. Now I'm going to head over into the tree. What you're seeing now is a male haggard, another red-tailed hawk that's a mature bird. We're in his territory right now, so he's come over to check out what's going on. If Freedom were a mature bird, that male might be much more likely to try and attack her. But because Freedom is an immature bird, that male red-tail has really just come over to check out the situation and see what's going on. There's actually a mature female that hangs around with this male that comes over often as well. Fortunately, as you can tell, Freedom doesn't seem to be bothered by the male. We had an interesting 2 hours out there. A couple of things you didn't see. In one instance, Freedom was in a tree and a male, a mature red-tail, came down into the tree on a branch next to her. A little bit later on, Freedom was sitting up in the top of a tall pine, and there might be a photo of her sitting up in the top of that tree. But she wasn't there for long when the female, the mate of that male, actually came down in a very steep stoop and hit her in the top of the tree. Fortunately, Freedom is a very healthy bird. She's been maintained well. She's on weight, very muscular because she's been flying quite a bit, and was able to withstand the hit from the other mature red tails. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about my hobby. As always, if you know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate, please keep me in mind. Feel free to pass their name on to me or pass my information on to them. Thanks a lot. Have a great week.